Hello, friends. It is Coach Sarah, and today is day one of our 7-day digestive health and autoimmune reset. I am extremely excited to be with you tonight, and for the next 7 days, I'm going to be sharing with you all about digestive health and autoimmune health and the strategies that have helped me overcome my autoimmune illness, as well as help people that I am currently working with and have worked with in the past overcome their health challenges. Just as a disclaimer, I am not claiming to cure or treat any diseases, but what I am going to be doing is giving you information to empower yourself to do better. So again, my name is Coach Sarah. I am in the suburbs of Chicago. For those of you who don't know me and are unfamiliar with what I do, I am a health and wellness coach. I have been doing this for close to 2 decades. I'm wrapping up my 16th year of being a health and wellness professional. And over the last 7 years, I have been going through my own health challenge of getting diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is a condition which many of you may be familiar with because autoimmune conditions are on the rise. They are affecting 1 in 5 people. 20% of our population is estimated to be struggling with an autoimmune condition of some kind. So rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, polymyalgia rheumatica, which is inflammation of the blood. There are all kinds of different issues that we see individuals struggling with that classify as these 1 in 5. So autoimmunity of any kind is rooted in digestive health. And digestive health is the foundation for good immunity. Because 80%, it's estimated that upwards of 80% of our immune system actually lies within our digestive tract. So what I'm going to be doing over the next 7 days, like I was saying, is filling you in on what it takes to start reclaiming your digestive health. And by reclaiming your digestive health, start reversing if you are having autoimmune symptoms or have been diagnosed with something in the autoimmune family. You can begin to reverse your symptoms and hopefully regain a new baseline of health. This is going to be an incredibly powerful week for you. And just remember that this 7 days is simply a sneak peek into the entire protocol that I'm going to be running, which starts November 28th. So I'm really excited for you guys to be inspired during these 7 days to take that next step forward and join me for the full autoimmune reset, because I'm going to be guiding you through all of the techniques needed. I'm going to be giving you feedback on how to more effectively move your body while trying to do this gut reset, because working out harder and more intensely can sometimes be counterintuitive to what we're trying to do with resetting our digestive health. So I'm going to be guiding you through not only the nutrition end, but I'm going to be guiding you through the movement end, and I'm going to be guiding you through the mindset end of what it takes to regain your health. My background is actually in psychology. I got started in fitness after I graduated with my degree in psychology. I had a love of studying what makes people tick. You know, what inspires people to do what they do. And so I decided in school that I was going to get my degree in psychology, and I studied kinesiology as my minor. But my love of fitness was so strong that I wanted to be able to bridge those two worlds together. So this is what brought me to a place where I work as a practicing wellness coach, where I combine the worlds of psychology and the world of nutrition so that I can help people in more ways than just telling them how to eat and how to move, but really how to reframe the way that they think and create a new normal for themselves so that they can move their health forward in a way that they may have never experienced before. Because the one thing that we need to keep in mind, guys, is that our gut is our second brain. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So tonight's topic is fix your gut, fix your health. And I'm going to be giving you guys a really brief overview of why gut health is so incredibly important. Well, maybe not so brief, but a thorough overview of why gut health is so incredibly important to our overall well-being and what we need to be looking for and paying attention to know that we may need help in these areas. So again, thank you for joining me. I'm really excited that you're here, and I'm going to give you a few rules of the road when you're tuning into these videos in order to help me know who's able to tune in and when to fine tune these times. If you can throw a 1 in the comments tonight if you're tuning in live, that would be especially helpful. I'm going to ask those of you who catch this on the replay to throw a 2 up into the comments for me. And that's going to help us see when the best times are to post these videos and allow us to know who's able to engage. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So why is gut health so important? Well, as far back as the early 1900s, there was research conducted by Nobel Prize winner and microbiologist Eli Menchikoff, where he concluded that disease and aging were primarily due to a buildup of toxic substances in our digestive tract. And in fact, he was actually quoted as saying that death begins in the colon. Pretty powerful statement. You may not be in total agreement with me yet, but hopefully as this week progresses, you'll see that most diseases, chronic diseases and most illness are actually rooted in our gut health, and the physical manifestations of that are really long-term, because our gut health is something that is a little tricky, because a properly functioning GI system is really critical for our overall health, but it's often overlooked. It's often mistreated, and it's often underappreciated, because there are certain things that our GI system lacks that will give us the immediate signals that something is off or wrong. The standard American lifestyle is really where we need to start when we start looking at GI health. And we can see with our current statistics of roughly 70 million Americans struggling with digestive issues and 1 in 5 Americans struggling with an autoimmune illness, that digestive health is definitely an issue. We can also see that digestive health is an issue based on the amount of prescriptive and over-the-counter digestive health meds that are being given out. Think about antacids like Tums. If you are somebody who feels like you have to pop Tums every time you eat, that is a problem. If you are someone who takes a proton pump inhibitor like Nexium, Prilosec, Prevacid, you'll notice that on those particular types of over-the-counter meds, that there are warnings that say not to take those for, usually it's longer than 10 to 14 days. There's a reason. There's a reason why we shouldn't be toning down our stomach acid. Our stomach is meant to be an extremely acidic place. And the reason why is because the acid in our stomach is meant to thoroughly break down our food in order for us to be able to digest it. So we find ourselves taking the Tums, popping the antacids, and then dealing with the backside, no pun intended, of our digestion, where we see ourselves having to take laxatives for constipation and then binding agents for IBS or diarrhea. All of these things, although they may be necessary every once in a while, like if you had too much to eat at Thanksgiving dinner and you felt like you might need to pop a Tums, that's a lot different than having to take them every single time you eat. So if you are one of these people who are constantly, and I was one of them, constantly having to take digestive aids or aids to help with your motility, I need you to listen closely this week, because this is going to be an extremely powerful way for you to reclaim your health and to remove these things from your life, because they're not necessary if you get your digestive health under control. So we need to start treating our digestive system with more respect if we want to reclaim our health. Like I was saying before, our GI tract makes up roughly 80% of our immune system. And our immune system is what keeps us healthy. If our immune system is poor, we're going to get sick. If our immune system is poor, we're going to be more prone to chronic disease. Our digestive system is the only system in the body that has its own independently operating nervous system called the enteric nervous system. You think that if a system has its own dedicated nervous system, that it's probably pretty important, right? Probably. And the other thing that we need to keep in mind when it comes to digestive health is that we have over 400 species of living organisms in our gut and more bacteria in our gut than there are stars in the sky. The human body is actually made up of more bacteria than it is made up of you. It's pretty wild, right? So I'm going to repeat that one more time just to let that one sink in. The human body is made up of more bacteria than it is made up of you. So, do you think that our bacterial health within our body and the balance within our gut is important? Probably. Extremely important. So regardless of whether you are somebody who is struggling with not being able to lose weight, whether you are somebody who is struggling with not being able to gain lean muscle mass, or whether you are somebody who is just simply struggling with your general well-being and health, we should be treating our gut with major care and major concern. So again, why is our gut health so important? Because our gut health affects the way our brain works. Our gut health affects the way we feel physically. And our gut health also affects our emotions and the way we act. So in fact, like I was saying before, our gut is referred to as our second brain. And the truth is our GI tract actually contains more neurons or signal transmitters. So neurons transmit electrical impulses in order to communicate. And we have more neurons in our digestive tract than we do in our spinal cord and our brain. So maybe our gut should be called our first brain, and this should be called our second brain. But know that if your digestive health is off, you are going to be foggy brained. If your digestive health is off, you're not going to be thinking very clearly. If your digestive health is off, you could be struggling with major anxiety and depressive issues and be unnecessarily medicated like I was for years. I was on upwards of, I think at my height, 8 prescription medications for secondary symptoms that came back to my gut health. And none of them were necessary at the end of the day. When I fixed my gut health, I fixed my overall health. So I know it's kind of a far-fetched concept to think about there being more neurons in our gut than in our spinal cord and our brain, but we have to think about how much square footage our digestive tract actually takes up. So if you were to take our digestive tract out of our body, so your small intestine and your large intestine, and lay it out, it's actually going to take up the same amount of space as a tennis court, roughly. A singles tennis court, but a tennis court. That's a lot of space. So if you have chronic inflammation, if you have chronic stress in your gut, there's a lot that could be disrupted. And there's a lot that could be compromised. So even though we have all these neurons in our gut, and you're likely familiar with the phrase gut feeling. You've probably heard somebody say that, like, I have got a gut feeling. We actually can't feel what's going on in our gut usually until it's a little too late and we're already experiencing symptoms. And the reason why we're not able to feel pain in our gut is because our gut lacks a certain type of receptor called a nociceptor. And I'll explain what a nociceptor is. So a nociceptor, if you were to, for instance, if I were to have a broken piece of glass in my hand and I touch it with my finger, my nociceptors in my finger will send a signal to my brain that I'm touching something sharp and that I should stop. Well, unlike our finger on glass, if we're eating something or experiencing emotions that are disruptive to our digestive system, we're not going to feel the pain in our digestive tract. It's going to cause inflammation that over time will cause secondary symptoms. And so by the time you're experiencing symptoms, you already have inflammation happening. So by the time that's happening, there's already likely damage that has been done that needs to now be undone. So since the GI system doesn't contain these receptors, we actually don't know we're experiencing GI distress until those symptoms are full blown. So what are some of those common GI symptoms that you could be experiencing? I covered these before, but you'd be looking at things like gas. If you are somebody who is experiencing gas on a regular basis, that is not normal. If you are somebody who gets bloated and feels like you have the 3-month pregnant belly, and I've seen people that will eat and look like they're 6 months pregnant, and then the next day look normal again. That's not normal. If you are having gurgly guts after your meals or you feel nauseous, that is not normal. If you find that you burp after you eat, that is a sign that you're having GI distress. If you feel like you have a rock in your stomach after you eat, that is a sign that you're having GI distress. If you are experiencing constipation or diarrhea, that is GI distress. If you have a burning or raw sensation in your stomach, that is a sign that you have GI distress. Bad breath, foul smelling breath, metallic-y smelling breath, that is a sign you're having GI distress. If you have foul smelling bowel movements, now I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, nobody's poop smells good. Well, I'm talking like out of the ordinary, off the charts, bad smelling poop. Like that is a sign that you're having GI distress. But the thing is that many symptoms of GI distress are not directly experienced by your gut. So for those of you who are in this group right now and are like, well, I'm not really having any GI symptoms directly, here are some symptoms that are not directly related to the gut. Anxiety, depression, hormonal imbalances, infertility, migraines, chronic headaches. They don't necessarily have to be migraines, but chronic headaches, skin conditions, eczema, unexplained rashes, hives, food sensitivities, allergies, autoimmunity, and blood sugar irregularities. If you are somebody who has high fasted sugars in the morning, you wake up and your blood sugar's high, there is a really good chance that you need to do some work on your digestive system and that you need to reset your gut. So I am actually doing this group alongside my husband, who just walked in the door. He had an extremely busy day today, so he's coming in a little bit late, but I'm going to scoot over here and let him pop in here with us.
Oh, I'm coming in. All right. Oh, there we are. Okay.
And I want Tyler to give you guys just a little bit of an insight into, because for those of you who don't know Tyler, so hi.
Hello, everybody.
Tyler is the rehab part of Functional Effect Fitness and Rehabilitation, and he is a doctor of chiropractic. And he specializes in integrative nutrition and therapeutic nutrition. So he sees and works with a lot of these issues. And I just want him to give you guys a little bit of insight into, what he's been seeing as far as the issues that are common with digestive health and the phenomenon that he's also seeing with the ages of these issues getting younger and younger.
Yeah, there's no doubt it's getting younger and younger with the GI issues that I see. I mean, most people come talk to me about their issues with, like, people get a little more intimate with talking to me about it. Their diarrhea, constipation, those are the really big ones. Talk about their skin issues. Fatigue, really, really big.
I actually, not to interrupt, I heard a really interesting statistic this morning about constipation. 50% of Americans suffer from constipation on a daily basis.
And that's honestly, that number doesn't surprise me. Knowing what I know.
It doesn't surprise me knowing what I know, but I hope that it's alarming to you.
Yeah.
I hope that you are appalled by that number.
So looking at just with my patient population, and I working with therapeutic nutrition, and I see more autoimmune than I ever thought. When I first started, I've been practicing for 6 years full time. And it seems like every year I get more and more and more. Sorry if you see this thing moving in the back. My dog's in the back, trying to get after me. Back here, she wants some loving. So, it's been this interesting thing of, you can see that looking at our environment and the toxicity levels that we're seeing and how it's affecting us, and we just can't handle this load anymore. We just can't handle this ability to detox out of our system.
So where are we getting toxins from? So let's start by that.
Honestly, everywhere.
And that was the point I wanted to make. So, not only are we getting toxic buildup from our environment. So whether you live in the city or the country, you are equal opportunity for pollutants in the environment. If you are someone who is highly stressed, that is toxic to your system. Mm-hmm. And guys, we need to keep in mind that our toxic load is going to determine our health.
Yeah. No one really thinks about this stuff that much. It's really too late until there's some major health consequences. No one thinks about how are they getting rid. They have this stuff coming into their environment and into their body every single day, and our body has to process this out. And if you look at the last 50 years, maybe 60 years, it's gotten a lot worse than the last, centuries. If you look at centuries and centuries, we have more chemicals in our environment. We just can't handle the load on our bodies. And that's why you're seeing all these autoimmunes and all these gut problems, because our body can't handle it. It's really struggling. And the medical doctors, and I was just talking today about lupus, and which is an autoimmune condition. And, even she says her medication makes her feel terrible. So what does that tell me? If even her medication makes her feel bad, this isn't an issue with necessarily lupus. That's just what's presented. It's the underlying issues of the gut, and that's the expression of our body, because she's toxic. She has anxiety. She has depression. She has a lot of mental health issues as well with this.
And what did I say that our gut is? Our second
nervous
brain.
System. So I get to talk with people about this. I'm like, you need to focus on the gut. That is the key. You're never going to get anywhere. You're just going to go circle, 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 circle until you actually start focusing on that.
So I will tell you from my personal experience, having been heavily medicated for all of these issues, it never took care of the root of the problem. So we use the fire analogy. We talk about illness and sickness like a bonfire. And the Western medicine approach, the traditional conventional approach, it simply fans the smoke. Mm-hmm. So it may get the smoke out of your eyes and it may slightly alleviate some of your symptoms, but it's not going to allow you to put out the fire. And the fire is the problem. And the fire isn't the lupus. The fire isn't the Hashimoto's. The fire isn't the rheumatoid arthritis. The fire is your gut health.
Yeah. So you have to think about drug companies as well and what their agenda truly is. As there is literally no money in curing anything. Like, if you cure something and you created a drug for it, well, eventually you're not going to make that much money. But you know what does make money? Managing autoimmune makes a ton of money.
So conventional medicine it's really management of sickness instead of creating wellness. And so our goal over this 7-day reset is to help you create wellness in your life, not to just help you manage your symptoms.
I originally wanted to be a medical doctor. That was the original thing I thought I wanted to do, because that's what kind of the world told me to do. It's like, if you want to help people, become a doctor. Well, I got into it and realized I don't want to deal with the world of sickness. I want to be in the wellness world.
And funny enough, his dad is a pharmacist.
Owns a pharmacy for 25 years. He's a compounding pharmacist, and so I got to see something. I got to hang out there all the time as a kid, and I saw it day after day after day. And my dad's not a big pill pusher. He's definitely a guy of wellness. He's in extremely good shape, takes care of himself really well, and won't take anything unless he absolutely has to.
Because he knows.
Yes.
Because he knows, and he has learned, because he has watched and seen the shift in people's health. He's been doing this for so long that he has seen the shift in people's health. He's seen the shift in wellness.
And I asked him a while ago, I said, Dad, what's the one drug that someone's taking right now that you think in 5-10 years, they're going to go, ooh, that was a really bad idea. And that drug is all statin drugs. Now, there's a time and a place for statin drugs, but they're so overprescribed. And what it does to your body and what it does to your cellular health is absolutely terrible.
So if you're somebody who's currently taking a statin drug and you're struggling with digestive health, we need to start looking at the medications that you're taking as well. And I'm not telling you to get off of any medications, but what I'm telling you is to get educated on the side effects of the medications that you're taking.
Absolutely.
Because oftentimes the medications that we're taking through conventional medicine can actually be exacerbating or worsening our digestive health.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So again, our goal this week is to educate you. Our goal this week is to inspire you to do better, because you are going to know better by the end of this week of how to manage and how to take back control of your health. Mm-hmm. My goal this week is to give you tools that you can walk away with, and my goal is for you by the end of this week to be so inspired that you are ready to come alongside us and do the full digestive reset. Because it has allowed me, again, I'm not claiming to heal anything. I'm not claiming to cure anything. But all I can speak from is experience and personal testimony that with my Hashimoto's, I am now 8 months medication free. By following this digestive protocol.
Yeah.
Now, I've been following the digestive protocol for much longer than 8 months, but it has led me to a place where I now have been 8 months medication free.
It wasn't an accident by any means.
It was not an accident. It was completely intentional.
It was intentional. We really focused on what changed. What were the things that we needed to change and add into our life to make sure that we're living the best life possible. And I think everyone wants to live that. Like, what's the best? If you want to wake up every day enjoying life, that's what you want to be. But if you're dealing with these issues on a daily basis, it's really hard to enjoy enjoy your life, and really, life's short. It's really short.
Well, and it's knowing that your digestive health is so closely linked to your emotional well-being. Your digestive health is so closely linked to actual happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, and he can act as my testimony to the difference in my general affect pre-digestive health protocol and post-digestive health protocol. Yeah. What was it like?
Well,
and you can be honest.
Okay.
I love him.
So throw some truth bombs here. So it was definitely, Sarah was on edge a lot. That's, I think, a good way. I didn't know what I may say that could kind of set her off. She could get kind of difficult to be around. Your anxiety was high.
I suffered from panic attacks.
It was a challenge. I mean, I think every marriage has its challenges. But once the diet changed, the supplements changed, everything changed, it became a lot easier. It was easier to have conversations. It was easier to communicate. It was able to when we're trying to accomplish something, it was a lot easier to accomplish, even just like daily tasks around the house. Everything got better.
I had energy again.
And I think as going through and as the weight loss happened, as the energy happened, and the confidence level of her, it got better and better and better. I started seeing my wife again, someone that is so caring to other people. What Sarah does, I tell people this, I told 2 people this today, I literally cannot do what my wife does. She's so good at what she does. I know what I'm good at, and I stay in my lane, and I help her out through, and I support her with her, decision making on what she's going to do. But I can't do what she does because she has some gifts that I don't have. But when I can support her and get her feeling, help her feel good and support her along the way. And I think that's another thing to talk about. When you have someone in your corner cheering you on and helping you out, and every day we definitely had our times that we may have wanted certain foods or wanted to do certain things.
I love cheese, guys, but you know what? I don't eat it. And that's just, and not to spoil what we have coming up later on in the week, but that's one of the things that I don't eat anymore.
I love cheese, but cheese doesn't love me. And I'm from Wisconsin.
So here's your first helpful hint. You may need to take cheese out of your diet.
Make it possible.
But we'll talk more about that later.
That's another conversation.
So with that, to preface what we're going to be going over this week, tonight, again, we wanted to go over the broad global view of digestive health. But what we are going to talk about this week is how to properly eliminate foods from your diet, how to heal and seal the gut, which is an incredibly important part of this process, and how to properly fill in the gaps and flood your body with the nutrition it needs to start the healing process. So that is going to be how this week rolls out. And by the end of the week, we're going to be getting some RSVPs from you guys on those of you who do want to come alongside us to join us for the full digestive health protocol. Because I can tell you, again, doing this literally saved my life. It saved my marriage. It allowed me to become pregnant and have a great pregnancy. Now, I did have a bit of a struggle after I was pregnant, which I will get into more. But that's also a time when digestive health is incredibly important, and I stopped paying attention to it. So this is not something that you can do and be done with. Just to let you guys know, this is something that is going to need to become a lifestyle change. Because you can have digestive health and you can lose it if you don't keep up with it. And so I have seen digestive health multiple times come and go. But now I have all the tools I need to never lose it again. Because my head's in a different place and I have accepted the fact that my normal does not look like the standard American lifestyle. So no matter how badly I want to engage in the standard American lifestyle, I know that my health is more important. So again, I'm really excited to be bringing you guys this information. You have time to add people to this group. This group will stay up through the whole week. So if something tonight just hit you in the gut, no pun intended, and you really feel like you want to share this information with someone, and you know somebody who you're like, that sounds like so-and-so, hit them up, tag them with the group, add them to the group yourself. I will make sure to approve them. Because this group, there's no obligation to go through this 7 days, you guys. This information is purely me wanting to share what helped me reclaim my health.
Yeah. If I could, as a guy and a husband, if I could help a wife feel so much better so they can have a better marriage, man, that does it right there for me.
If I can help a mom who's struggling, who finds herself crying every afternoon because she's so overwhelmed by what's going on in her world. If I can help a girl in her 20s who constantly feels like she's not enough and is racked with anxiety and panic attacks. If I can help a guy who is struggling with horrible digestive health and depression, I will have done my job just by going through this 7 days with you guys, because this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about us inspiring you to know better and do better. And then if you decide that this is for you, you're going to come alongside us for the full reset. So I hope you join us tomorrow night. I know you will. I know you will. I know all 47 of you will who are watching right now. And thank you for tuning in tonight. But again, there is hope. Just know that there is hope for you. There is hope for everyone that you know that is struggling. You have to, 1, get out of your own way. 2, open up your ears. Open up your heart. Open up your mind. And be willing to receive this information. Because it works. It truly does. And so tomorrow night, our topic is minding your mitochondria. And if you don't know what mitochondria are right now, you could go Google it, or you can tune in tomorrow night, because I'm going to be talking to you all about the mitochondria of your body, what they are responsible for, how they become sick, what it looks like when our mitochondria get sick, and how we can start turning that around. So minding your mitochondria will be tomorrow night, and I will be posting up a time for you guys soon, and I hope you have an awesome evening. Again, this is Coach Sarah and
Dr. Ty.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.
For day 2. Bye, guys.